Mr. SMinimose3, who has given us some information relative to his experiences growing up in Sudan, as well as his coming to the United States of America. Now, Simon, I think one of the things that all of us are familiar with is the conflict between religions in Sudan and the peace treaty, peace agreement that has been sought and in some instances talked about. Let's give us some information in reference to what is going on about that agreement.
Yes, the peace agreement was signed in Nairobi, Naivasha in Kenya. So this was to bring the government in the north and the Sudanese, which is mostly Christians, enemies, and the northern Muslims, to at least to realize a peace in a peaceful Sudan. And in the agreement, there were two important things that I will talk. One was the general election, and the second was the referendum, which will take place next year, early January. So the general election was conducted in April. This was to, like I said before, that Sudan was being a country ruled by authorities. There have been a lot of killings, ethnic cleansing, and so the most important thing with the election of this comprehensive peace agreement was to transform the nation into a democratic nation. So when they did the general election in April, was so that people elect their leaders, people who they know that they have to be in power to help their situations, who can render them services for the well-being of the societies. And the general election was conducted, and then the incumbent president, who is President Omar al-Bashir, from the north, was able to win the general election. But the results were not recognized. There was a lot of fraud and irregularities in the general election. But that was not the main focus of the people in the south, which are mostly the Christians, the enemies. What's most important is in the CPA to the people of the south was the referendum, which will take place next year. In the referendum, these people are going to vote, which is the people of the south, not Sudan as a whole. So in this process, they will determine whether they want to be a united Sudan, so that we maintain the largest country of Africa as a united, or to separate as an independent state. This is the most important thing in the CP, in a comprehensive peace agreement, which was signed in 2005. So the referendum will take place early January on the 9th of 2011. So that way the South can decide whether they're being part of the Sudan or they have the independent state.
Now, now there's also an economic base to this division. Certainly there's religious division between Islam and Christianity here, but there's also oil on one end and no oil on the other end. Is that right? And now, why don't you explain that situation? Because I think that plays a significant role in reference to it, as you undoubtedly know.
Yes, these are most of the important things in the CPA. One was the sharing of wealth. Because in the CPA, there were government of southern form. There are three structures of government form. There's a government of national unity, there was a government of Sudan, and there was a government of southern Sudan. So in the process of the comprehensive peace agreement, that's what they call sharing of wealth, of resources. So part of it was the oil. The oil wells are mostly in the area in the south. So this is one of the conflicts that brings also a problem to the people of the south. But before we didn't have an oil in the country. So it became an economic problem between the people of the south and the north, because this moment, most people in the south depend on the oil producing, the industry of oil.
The revenue from the oil.
Or from oil. So most revenues come from oil. So this has been a part of the argument that how are they going to share the oil resources in a process that if the South become an independent state. So it's a lot of questions that there have been a lot of commissions being formed who can work on these issues. It's things like the citizenship. How are we going to divide the citizenship? Because these were the same people of one country. especially the demarcations of borders. We still have borders issues between the north and the south. So these have been most of the crucial things that have to be fixed before the people of the south go for the ballot to determine their destination, whether it's being an independent state or being a part of the unity of Sudan.
And so when you talk to people from Sudan, do you find that they are very knowledgeable in terms of what is going on in Sudan, or do they really care about what is going on in Sudan? I mean, what is the general outlook for individuals, perhaps like yourself, that are from Sudan and are facing some of the real challenges, you know, religious challenges?